Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'd like to share with you how you can create your own NFT PnL table, right? So essentially creating a table that tracks uh, profits or losses from your NFT transactions. So I'm using Ethereum, so the Ethereum NFT sales table, and they should work for I guess almost all chains. And I've redone the query here, so I'm just gonna walk through what are the things and why I wrote it the way I did. So let's begin. So first of all, I have a block timestamp filter. So I did add this to be let's see, start of 2022, but you can of course change this to start of this year 2024. But I'll just leave it as a parameter. And then I am filtering for not ERC 1055, which means I'm filtering for ERC 721s, which is the typical 1 out of 1 NFT standard. And reason for that is because when you're dealing with ERC 1155s, it's almost like ERC 20s, and there can be multiple quantities of a specific token ID. And so I don't want to deal with all that. I just want to look at classic 721s. Also, alpha for those listening in. Uh, there will be a column that will make it easier for you to filter for ERC 721s and not have to go through this workaround over here. And then, of course, you would have your buyer or seller filter. So because we are specifically interested in a particular wallet, we can just say, look for when the buyer is this, or if the seller is that address, right? And I've had this part grayed out or commented out, which is I was filtering for currency addresses where only sales taken, transacted in ETH, right? This is Rep Ethereum, or this is Blur ETH, right? Blur Pool. So only sales taken place in ETH, but there is a slight problem with that, and it's rare, but it is a problem. So, for example, if you were to buy something in ETH and then you sell something in, let's say, USDT, like Tether, and then you buy another, you buy the same NFT again in another non-ETH currency, and then you sell it in ETH, sell it in either one of these currencies, your results will not be accurate because you're essentially not getting the immediate buy and immediate sell of a particular token. So I decided to just comment this out, but would be helpful for you to know if you were to include that in. That would be the caveat that I just mentioned. And another thing I like to do is I normally only like to add in the table once. So if you can see here, I'm referencing the table for buy from raw, which is my CTE here, and the CTE here references the sales table once. So the benefit of this is that um, Snowflake will just have to go into this table one time and get all the filters and then perform all the um, CTE stuff. Uh, I think most of the queries would be doing this the other approach where you would say like buys and then look at NFT sales and then sells sells and look at the NFT sales table again. In most cases this is more efficient, but in some cases the other way might be better. Okay, so what else I got? I have a coalesce here just to ensure that uh, all my columns are 0 if they are null, right? And then I have the first special thing called sale direction. So because we put it in the buyer seller thing, how do we ensure that which transaction is a buy and which transaction is a sale? And you can do that by just using the buyer address or the seller address, right? So if the buyer address is the wallet address that you specified, then that is a buy. If not, that's a sell. And then I have here a row number, which just makes a row number, right, from starting from 1. Um, and it starts a list. It starts a row number for every for every unique combination of NFT address and token ID. I have wallet address here, but it doesn't matter because we're just filtering for one wallet address. So this doesn't matter. But what this does is that we want to create a ordered list of sales for that particular NFT, and because the NFT can be differentiated by the combination of NFT address and token ID, that's why we're doing a partition by. So partition by NFT address and token ID, ordered by the timestamp essentially in the sending order, so that we can know like, okay, this is the first sale, and then what's an immediate sale after, right, of that particular NFT. And then order by timestamp ascending, event index ascending is because there can be multiple sales within the same transaction, and so we want to have both event index and block timestamp in ascending order. And what I like to do is I like to get a few examples of wallets. So in this case, I just looked at like the top 1,000 wallets that with the highest volume or highest number of sales, and then pick a random wallet. And the wallet that I got is this wallet over here, and it is this wallet actually, right? It's a very funny ENS name if you know this in Cantonese. It's like a slang, I guess. And yeah, just look at this address as our case study, and you can swap it out with another address to double check your work. All right, so we have that part done. Now, what we want to do, the whole idea behind this PnL is, maybe I write this down here, right? The main idea is that you have, you buy an NFT, right? And then when you sell the same NFT, you want to be able to join it back to the NFT, to the buy transaction. Okay, want to join it back to the buy transaction because you want to be able to get both the buy price and the selling price, and that way you can know whether or not it is a profit or a loss, right? So uh, to get the buy and to get the sell, I first have a raw table that filters both the buy and sell by filtering for when the buyer addresses the wallet and also when the seller addresses the wallet. And then I go to my buy CTE where I filter for when the direction is buy. So that's this part over here. And then I'll do another CTE where I say when the transaction is a sell. And then finally there'll be a join of buy and sell. And then join of buy and sell to get the profit. So let's look what the buy transaction CTE looks like, right? So again, from raw where it's buy, and then I'm just renaming it. So for example, timestamp is renamed to buy, and the reason I'm renaming these things because I'll be able to use these columns in my final query. As you can see over here, spoiler alert. Yeah, like buy timestamp, sell timestamp, because I can then calculate what is the number of days in between the sell, right? I don't know, just another metric that you can choose to, that you can analyze, right? And then buy transaction hash because you can easily double check your work, right? If it's indeed really a buy and then followed by a sell, right? And then the price of the NFT, rename it as buy price. In this case, because I'm just using USD prices, we'll be just using the price USD column and renaming that as buy price USD. I'm also including the transaction fee here, and you will see that there's this if statement here, right? If event type is bid won, 0 else transaction fee USD. Now, what exactly does this mean? In an NFT sale transaction, um, you can let's say okay, so let's go to OpenSea, right? Um, sure, let's go to this Mary Basemas NFT. Oh, this is not yet live. Uh, sure. Okay. So if I want to buy this NFT, right, I click buy now. I am the one that initiates the transaction, right? So I click buy now. I will pay the transaction fees. Okay. But if I'm the one that owns this NFT and I list it for sale over here, okay, I this is for example this is my NFT, right? I list it for sale, and when people and when I list it for sale, anyone can then create an offer, like make offer here, and you can see there's a list of offers over here, right? And if I like this offer, I can accept this offer. And if I were to accept this offer, which means I'm the one initiating the transaction, so I have to pay transaction fees even though I'm the seller here, right? In the first example, I'm the buyer, I pay transaction fees. In this example, I'm the seller, but I also pay transaction fees because I'm accepting an offer. So to cater for this scenario, we have this query over here which says if the event is bid one, which just means if the sales transaction is you accepting the offer, then 0. Else, if you're the buyer or if you're buying the transaction, initiating the transaction, then take the transaction fee. The reason why it's 0 is because imagine if I'm the buyer, right? I left an offer here, and then the seller accepts the offer and um, initiates a transaction to accept the offer. Me as a buyer, I don't have to pay transaction fees, but I do pay. I do pay the price of buying the NFT. I just don't have to pay the transaction fees, and so that's what this 0 would mean here. And the exact same logic would have to be applied in the sell transactions CTE then, right? So exact same thing but in reverse, right? If I'm the seller and I accept the offer, I have to pay transaction fee. If not, if someone just buys it off of a listing directly, then I don't have to pay transaction fees. So that's essentially what this part of the code here represents. And then I have something called a buy event index, which is just a sale index, which again is derived from this row number. So we're just counting from 1 all the way up, based on the order of the sale transactions, right? And then I am doing a lead, which means let's say I buy let's say I buy this NFT, right? For the first time, my row number will be 1, and then when I sell it, the row number is now 2. When I buy it again, the row number is now 3, right? So this lead is just getting what is the next buy event index, if any, right? And they're calling it as next buy index. And this will be relevant for later when we join the buy and sell and explain why in a bit. But yeah, this is just getting the next buy event index, if any. Alright. And then we have a sell CTE, right? So sell transactions. Nothing unusual here, right? So from raw, again, raw is my raw table. And then filter for when direction is sell. And the only thing that matters here is what is I guess, a net sell price. So what is the price? The price that was paid. Now that I'm thinking about this, do I I'm thinking if I need to minus the platform and royalty fees here. So if I sell a if I sell, yeah, I think I do, because when I sell an NFT, I don't get the full price. It will be price minus minus all the platform fees, right? Yeah, let's do that. So platform fees, I have it in raw, and this would be, total fees USD over here. So sell price would be minus this. So price USD is the total price minus all the fees. So I want to get like how much exactly I'm getting, and then this part is then if I have to pay transaction fees, include the transaction fees. If I don't have to pay them, then I'll make it zero, right? So this would be the net received by seller, essentially, right, after deducting all of the fees. And then I think that concludes the sell CTE. And now in my buy, in my final CTE, where I join both the buy and the sell, I will have a sell price minus the cost, and the cost here would be the buy price plus transaction fees. So uh, if I when I'm buying the NFT, I pay full price. Right? I pay the price of I pay all the fees and of course the NFT price itself. So that includes that will be included in buy price USD. And because I initiated the transaction, there will also be transaction fee. And if I did not initiate the transaction, that's fine, because that's already taken care of in this CTE over here. So that'll be zero, or some number, and this will be my total cost. And then my profit would then be how much I'm getting, which is the sell price, right? Net received by seller minus my total cost, and that will be my final profit. So it is simplified here, but the full equation would then be something like um, buy price minus transaction fees when buying, if any, um, minus the sorry, it should be start with sell price. So total sell price, right? So sell price minus fees, right? Platform fees, creator fees, right? Minus transaction fees, if any, if you're accepting the sale, minus buy price, and then minus transaction fees when you're buying, if any, again. So this is the full formula, but it is simplified to just this because we've already done part of the calculation up front over here. Yeah, so the rest of the columns are pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory. Now we'll get into the join, right? So how do we join these two things? Now, the thing that is unique is that we want to join uh, on the NFT address and also token ID. Wallet address is not needed here because, again, this is just one wallet. But if you have multiple wallets you want to include, this is how you include it. So I just include it here as well. So I'm joining the buy and the sell on NFT address and token ID to ensure that we are just looking at a particular NFT. And then I've two sort of like where filters here. The first where filter says sell event index between buy and the next buy. Now what does this mean? So the best way to illustrate is, I think, to just write it out, an example. Oops. Okay, so let's see, right? So let's say call this transaction 1. Alice, right? Transaction 1 buyer is Alice, and then seller is Bob. Index is 1, right? So no, the NFT. This is we're looking at the same NFT addresses, NFT address and token ID here, Alice buys the NFT. She buys it from Bob, right? Call this index 1. Next transaction. And all these indexes again, remember, is created from our raw CD over here, right? Where we say order by the timestamp and the event index of the sale. So all this is just based on the timestamp. So of course index 1 means this sale occurred first, and then index 2 would be the sale after index 1, right? So then because Alice buys now, so seller is of course now Alice because she bought the first time, right? So the new buyer, maybe let's call them I don't know, cat. And then this would be index 2 because now for the same NFT, this is the second sale that occurred after the first NFT. And then GX3, let's say Alice buys it again from cat. Right, so that's how it looks like, right? Index 1, 2, 3, and this is a buy. If in the context of Alice as a wallet, this is a buy, this is a sell, and this is again a buy. So what we're joining is we're trying to join the buy with the sell, but because there can be multiple buys, we only want to join this particular sell with the buy prior to the sell. So this index 1, we want to join index 1 and index 2 and not have to pull in index 3 because that sell, that buy belongs to another grouping that we are not including over here, right? So we want to include only these two, this grouping, right? This first buy and this first sell, which is index 1 and index 2. How do we do that? We do that with this where filter here. So its first where filter says where sell event index, which is this event index, between buy and the next buy. So what is buy? Buy is 1. And the next buy is 3. So this where filter ensures that our 2 is able to join with 1. Because 2 is between 1 and 3. It doesn't work here because the buy event index for here is 3, and of course 2 is not between 3 and whatever number, right? And the next filter is or sell event index more than buy event index, so means 2 is more than 1, and the next buy event index is null. So what does this mean? This means if imagine there's no transaction number 3, the next buy would be null, right? There's literally no index, and so this where filter then covers for that situation, for when the sell is more than buy and there are no more buys after this. So this combination of this filter ensures that we join the appropriate sell to the appropriate buy, right? Ensures that it is just exactly the immediate after the immediate transactions after one another. Now the small caveat here with doing this is that you will not be able to look at NFTs where the user have bought but have not sold, right? For this exact same reason, this exact filter. Shout out to Sandesh. He made a NFT PnL dashboard or query that finds the floor price of NFTs that have not been sold and adds that to your query. So I think that's pretty cool. I'll find the dashboard of the query that he made and link it in the description so you can check it out. But yeah, this is another way of doing it, right? Just not including NFTs where there is no sell yet, right? And I think that's it, right? If you run this query, I would, if you were to do this on your own, I would do a lot of checking to ensure that the logic here is right? That there might be something that I missed out, but from what I've seen so far, it should be correct. And then of course, I included the buy and sell transaction hashes here, so that's easier to double check. And yeah, once you have this raw table, it's you can pretty much do a lot of things, right? You can look at, of course, you can look at total profit, right? Um, are they mainly making money or mainly losing money? How much have they spent on transaction fees, right? How much have they spent on platform fees, creator fees, right? So on and so forth. Um, yeah. Another small thing I'm noticing here is that the transaction fee should also be accounted for here. So that's an improvement, I would say, but hmm, yeah, it's probably let's see, um, sell. So I want to get the transaction fee uh from sales where the seller accepts the offer into here. So maybe I would just call this as um yeah, it would have to be another column and then add it to here as like sell transaction fee, and then just call it as buy transaction fee. Yeah, sure, let's do that. So I'll just take this up as sell txv USD, and then um, something like this, and then this would be the buy one. Uh, and then I can just do another one that says this plus this as total fee or total transaction fee USD. Right. Yep, that looks good. And I can of course run the query, but I wanna before I leave, not leave before I end the video, I wanna show you this copy query reference. So click on copy query reference, and you can um, make a new table. I just made one here, right? And you can do this, just paste the whatever reference you just copied, right? So it looks like this, and then you can just do your overview metrics here, like what is the biggest win, biggest loss, net profit, total fees, right? Can make these calculations here uh, when you reference the initial table. Okay. I wrote down some considerations here. Let's see. So there could be dupes of transaction fees because given that one transaction itself can have multiple NFT sales, if we are grouping all this, if we're summing up all these transaction fees, um, there will be duplicates. And so how I would go about this if I want to be super accurate is to then remove all the transaction fees here, um, then join in the transaction fees right at the end. But you have to deal with all the event index uh, nuances. Or you can do like a count number of entities and divide by transaction fee. So that gives you like a estimated transaction fee per NFT, right? That works as well, I guess. Or you can also do like I mean, yeah, those are the two methods I can think of. Another consideration is using ETH versus USD. So normally I would like to keep it denominated in the token itself, like denominated in ETH or ETH related assets like ETH, WEF, and Blurpool. But in this case, because there can be weird instances where you buy with ETH, sell with USDT, buy with USDT, then sell with ETH. Um, those scenarios can cause a misjoin, right? The join doesn't make sense, and so I would advise caution when you're using ETH. And yeah, I think that is it. Yeah, I hope this is helpful. You can do a bunch of stuff with this PnL table for NFTs. You can even um, include other stuffs that I've not included here. For example, the one that Sandesh included, right? Getting the floor price and then adding it here. But yeah, I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.